Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today is Sunday, May 15th, and I just wanted to do a really short clip on if it fits your macros or macro tracking. People call it flexible dieting, and just a little bit about what it is and why it works, so you can go to other places and check out resources, professionals, and things like that, just so I don't ramble on forever, and you can just kind of go do your own research, because I basically learned about if it fits your macros through my own research. I saw a lot of people doing it that worked for them, and so I wanted to give it a try. And through kind of following certain people on social media and how macro tracking works, I looked it up myself to the websites I will share with you below. So, and I've just kind of learned a lot over the past year and a half or so about it. And to me, it is just a more realistic approach to living a healthy lifestyle. Yes. So when I say diet, I don't mean that I'm cutting anything out. Diet is what you eat. Somebody's diet could be consisted of brownies and ice cream. A diet does not mean that it's healthy. So what if it fits your macros does is it kind of allows you the flexibility of having certain things that you like that you don't need to cut out, and it creates balance in your life, and that you can have all those things in moderation. So before I start going on about how it's helped me, I will just start on talking a little bit about what it is. And like I said, you can do your own research in the links below. The first link I'll post is ifitfitsyourmacros.com. They go over everything that you need to know. And when I get to talking about a macro calculator and how to calculate your own macros, this is the website that I would recommend. So your macros are the macro is short for macronutrient, and your macronutrients are your fats, your carbs, your protein, and your, what did I not say? Fats, carbs, and protein are the three big ones that you need to know. Also, alcohol has empty calories, basically, and fiber is important as well. You get fiber through your carbohydrates, but for right now, we're going to talk about fats, carbohydrates, and protein. Those are the three big ones that you, through this process, are going to keep track of and figure out how much of each of those things that you need to meet your goals. So basically what it comes down to is losing weight is a science. A lot of people, when they go through things, I'm going to call them fad diets because I want to. And I have done a lot of those fad diets. And some of those work for people. Some people really have been able to, for paleo, for example, some people have been able to eat paleo and live a healthy lifestyle and not, binge eat. I tried doing paleo for a little while and I couldn't do it because I love cheese. So it's whatever works for you, and this is what works for me. If it doesn't work for you, then fine. But so basically, when you are in a caloric deficit, which means when you're eating less calories than your body requires, and getting the adequate nutrients at the same time, you are going to lose weight. So what that means is, obviously, if you have been used to eating 2,000 calories a day and you go on a diet that is going to restrict you of carbohydrates and alcohol and chocolate and all these things that you love, obviously, naturally, you're going to be eating less calories. You're going to lose the weight. Most times, eating clean and doing a lot of these diets, yes, it gets you to lose the weight, but most of the time, I say most of the time, you are going to drop that weight faster, which seems good in the beginning, but it can cause metabolism suppression, or it can cause metabolic capacity. It can hurt your metabolism, basically. And in the long term, it's really hard to maintain that type of lifestyle. So think back at all the diets that you may have tried and failed at, or maybe you lost a lot of weight in the beginning, and then you just threw the diet out the window because you couldn't take it anymore. You're going to slowly gain that weight back. That's called a yo-yo diet, yo-yo lifestyle, whatever. And I've done a lot of those different things, and just kind of learned that you just need to balance everything out. You need to be flexible. So the why it works is because it is maintainable for the most part. It allows you to have the foods that you want, and also kind of shows you that your body does need those nutrients. You need protein, you need good fats, and you need complex carbohydrates. You also need micronutrients. So those are your vegetables and your fruits and vitamins, things like that. You still need to be getting nutrition health-wise, but allows you to live a flexible and healthy lifestyle, and you can lose weight at a predictable rate if you are hitting your macros. So, for example, when we get to the whole how you calculate your own macros, you're given this number of calories and number of grams you should eat for protein, carbs, and fats. You're given 4 numbers. The calories plus all 3 of the macronutrients that you should be tracking and hitting. And if you are hitting those, then you are going to monitor what your body is doing. And if you are maintaining your weight, which is the first thing that you want to find out, you want to figure out, so number 1, you want to figure out what the average amount, what your calorie intake is to maintain your weight. So you could just do this by manually logging your food or going on to MyFitnessPal, which I'll show you in a minute, and logging your food for the day. Not trying to hit any numbers, not trying to eat, extremely healthy, just what your average daily intake is. And then from there, if you have a Fitbit or a Polar Watch or anything like that, you should try and figure out how many calories your body burns in a day, so your TDEE. And you want to eat 15 to 20% less than what your body burns if you want to lose weight. So to make that easy, if you don't know what you burn, just it's trial and error. So you start with 1 calorie, if you think you're eating about 1,800 calories, then start as your target and create your 3 goals for your protein, your carbs, and your fats, and try hitting that. And weigh yourself. In the beginning, you want to weigh yourself. You want to take pictures. You want to take measurements. And then from there, just every week. In the beginning, I'd probably weigh yourself once or twice a week just so you can put numbers down and see how you're doing with a certain calorie intake. So for example, if you think that you eat around 1,800 calories a day, I would start with that number as your goal and create those 3 numbers. Again, I'll talk about the macro calculator in a minute. So say you have your 3 numbers for protein, carbs, and fats, and your goal calories are 1,800. Try and hit those the best you can for a couple of weeks. And anytime you don't want to change your numbers too quickly because it takes time for your body to get used to it. So just because you didn't lose weight in a 3-day span, don't go lowering your calories. Your body needs to get used to what you're doing and what foods you're eating and how much of it. So I would track that steady number, so the example of 1,800 from week to week, and say at the end of 1 to 2 weeks, you weigh yourself. So you weighed yourself in the beginning, and you didn't lose any weight. That's a good starting point because you know that 1,800 calories is about what your body needs to maintain weight. So now what you want to do is eat 15 to 20% less than that. And then that will change. Obviously, that will take your macronutrient intake down a little bit as well. And so you're going to take 20%, 15 to 20% off of the 1800. That'll bring you to your new caloric intake and split up your 3 macronutrient numbers from there. So that's kind of an example of how you can lose weight at a predictable rate. You're changing you're lowering your numbers slowly, week by week, or I would go a couple weeks at a time. And an average amount of weight that you want to lose in any kind of diet, any kind of lifestyle change would be 1 to 2 pounds per week, because that's going to be maintainable. In the beginning, you might lose a little bit more, because if you're cutting out a lot of sodium, a lot of processed food, sugars, alcohol, then a lot of that you're going to notice is going to be water weight. So it might be more than 1 to 2 pounds in the first couple of weeks, but after that you should start to see it kind of wind down, and 1 to 2 pounds is going to be completely average and completely maintainable. So you can kind of think about what your goal weight is and what time span you have to work with. So that's a little bit about how you can lose weight using. Talking about how it helped me, it's helped me create balance in my life and flexibility, and it's helped me love food. I feel like my life revolves around food, and I'm okay with that. Between being in the gym and work and cooking, I love to cook. I love to go out to eat. I love to cook for other people, bake, come up with new recipes. I love it. So, and it's also helped me not stress out on days where I do need to go to family functions or out to eat, and that it's okay to not track every once in a while, or to stop tracking. I've stopped tracking before over the holidays, and after I had tracked for so long, I was able to portion my meals without tracking, using my eye, estimating all those things, and you have a better idea of what a cup of, I don't know, what an ounce of chocolate cake looks like, or on the reverse side of that, what 4 ounces of chicken looks like, without measuring it all the time. However, when you are just getting started, one thing that I would recommend is getting a food scale. It's really important, especially in the beginning. If you have no idea what 4 ounces of steak looks like, you could slap a steak on your plate and it could be 7 ounces for all you know. Peanut butter. Some people use the tablespoon to measure. That tablespoon could really be 3 tablespoons. So a food scale is much more accurate when you're first starting out to measure all your food. So that, I think, is where I'm going to end it. The last thing that I'll talk about is MyFitnessPal. So to do all of this, the easiest way to obviously track everything is by using this little handy dandy app, MyFitnessPal right there. And I'm just going to, we will go with the example I talked about earlier of 1,800 calories, just so I can kind of show you guys a little bit about this app and how it works. And so once you get into it, you have all these different options. You can create a profile, so I wouldn't suggest logging your activity on here. So I'm just gonna go into goals, a little target, nutrition goals. You're gonna click calorie and macronutrient goals right there. And then when that comes up, I'm going to change it. So again, these are not my calories, these are not my macros. I'm just giving the example. So I'm gonna go ahead and put in 1,800 calories. So you wanna bring this wheel up after you've played around on the website, if it fitsyourmacros.com. Go check out how to figure out your macros. There's a calculator on there. They'll do it for you. The only thing that I suggest is don't take those numbers with a grain of salt. So if they give you the number 1,800 based on your weight and your height and all that stuff and your goals, and then they give you your 3 macronutrients, just kind of think about, am I really eating 1,800 calories a day? Is my body used to that? Because they might give that to you, but if you've done like me and kind of smushed your metabolism, you're going to find out that eating 1,800 calories might make you gain weight. So you just kind of want to play around with the numbers. And that's why you want to try and just track a couple days before you actually put your goals in to see what you're eating. So for example, if you've figured out that you're only eating around 1,500 calories on average, and they give you the number of 1,800 calories, you might want to take it down. and just start at 1500. And then if you're losing weight too fast, you can kind of increase it. So you need to play around with the numbers even after somebody gives you your macros. So let's just say that they gave you your numbers. You can go in here and change them because it might not be that. And you can do that just by hitting one of them, and it's going to take you to this little wheel. Obviously, all of them need to add up to 100%. So right now, again, this is an example. It's at 158 carbs, 135 grams of protein, and 70 grams of fat, which to me, for 1,800 calories, that seems like a pretty reasonable amount of everything. But again, those are not my macros, though. That's just an example of how this app works. Then the other cool thing is you can go to diary, and these are some of the foods that I've eaten today, and this is where you're going to log everything. So you're going to go to the bottom, like a breakfast, add food, and you can type it in up here, or you can hit that scan button over here and scan a food, and it'll come up with all the nutrition. So for example, feta cheese, it's going to give you all the nutrition facts. No. And then you can change, obviously, the serving size up here. You can change it, depends on the food. You can change it by cup or ounce or gram. And then if you go to scroll down to the bottom, this is what's going to come in handy every day. You're going to hit the nutrition button, and it's going to, whoops. Okay, well, you could end up on this, nutrients, but you want to hit macros. It's going to come up with this beautiful little pie graph and tell you if you're hitting your goals or not. And it may look funny like midday. So right now, like I haven't even hit my goal of fat, but the red, so my fats are at almost 50% right now, but that's just because I haven't logged all my food for today. So that is my MyFitnessPal, and there's a lot of other things that it does, but go ahead, log on, make an account. It's free, and it really just keeps you accountable. So that is kind of an introduction to If It Fits Your Macros and macro tracking. So go to the links below. There's a couple of also girls that I follow on YouTube, or girls that have posted videos on YouTube, and I'll link them down below, that they've given different tips, maybe some other ones that I haven't talked about yet. Later I will plan on doing a different videos, so I can do a video on cutting, so that's kind of trying to lose fat and keep your muscle. I can do a video on reverse dieting. I've done them both. I can do a video of a full day of eating and how I track my food. Later, so after this clip, you will hopefully see my, I am not doing a whole day of eating, but this morning I went out to eat to breakfast, and right now we're on the way to a barbecue. So, and I already said this in the next clip, I will show you guys just how I can be flexible and still track my macros at the same time and try and hit my goals for the day, we hope. So that will be in the next clip. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in a little bit. Hey guys, welcome back. So we just got back from who's that, Shy? Oh, she's gonna come show you. She's gonna come show you Hedgie. You got Hedgie? Shy? You got Hedgie? Ooh, show everybody Hedgie. Show everybody Hedgie. This is my pal. She loves that thing. It's funny because she usually shreds all her toys to pieces. Nope. You see her? See her? Shy. So, I completely forgot to record my food at the family event, but I did get a picture of breakfast this morning from Big G's. So, I will insert a picture of my breakfast. So, as you can see, I got 2-egg omelet with 1 egg white, spinach, feta cheese, tomato. That's it, I believe. And then I got a side of whole wheat toast grilled, just because it is so good grilled at Big G's. Which means you have to add the butter in. And I didn't add any extra butter. It was just the butter that they used to grill it with that I estimated. And then mine came with a side of home fries, and I gave those to Ty. So I ended up eating, and as you can see the picture, this place is called Big G's, and the bread is huge. 1 slice is probably the amount of, I don't know, 4 regular slices. But, so I ended up eating only 1 piece, or like 1/2 of the toast that you see there, and probably like a little over half of the omelet. So I'm going to show you what I did in my fitness. The thing that you want to do when you go out to eat, if you're tracking, is find something that is somewhat healthy and loggable, something that has some nutrition value to it. So, you know, an omelet, obviously I knew exactly what came in it. I don't know the exact measurements, but you can estimate. Do what I logged in my MyFitnessPal for the omelet and the side of toast, and then you'll see that I logged 1/2 tablespoon of butter. I ate only 1/2 piece of that toast, and I didn't put anything extra on it. I just like ate it with the omelet. Then my family thing, and I completely forgot to take a picture. Like I said, this whole macro tracking thing is nice because it just allows you to live your life and be flexible. And so I didn't, my phone was charging on the counter. I didn't take my camera in, and I completely forgot to get footage for you guys, so I apologize. And I was just going to take a picture of my food anyways, but I will just show you in my MyFitnessPal. The whole thing, like I said, was 2 eggs, 1 egg white. So I logged 1 egg, spinach, tomato, feta cheese, which the feta cheese, there was not a lot of cheese in it. There was probably like a 1/4 cup in the whole thing, so I logged 1/2 of that. The whole wheat bread, I put 1.5 ounces, 1/2 tablespoon of butter because it was grilled, and egg whites. So that was the breakfast. And then for dinner, a slice of cheese. I did end up having it on 1/2 a hamburger bun. Munster cheese, I overestimated a slice. I had a couple of small slices as an appetizer with 1 Ritz cracker, a cup of berry fruit, and that was berries. You just want to be careful, like if there's bananas or apples, those just have more carbs in them. This was just berries. And then I found something that said whoopie pie cake. It was homemade. For the serving size, the only option was like 1/4 of the cake, and so for the whole serving of that, it was close to 200 calories, and Ty and I split it, but it was still a pretty good sized piece, so I'm just going to be safe and say 3/4, so it's about 150 calories. And pasta salad, I didn't have too much of that. It was like macaroni salad. Yeah, I just typed in a homemade one, so that's probably about right. And then the ground beef, like I said, my dad said it was between 85% and 90%. I just overestimated and went with the 85%. And just by looking at the patties when my stepmom was making them, Ty and I estimated it's probably around 4 ounces. Mine was a little bit smaller, and I put it in as 3.5 just because I already overestimated with it being 85%. So that's probably close enough. And then, so when I looked at that, and I went to my nutrition, so the wheel down here, I had noticed that my protein, now isn't too bad, but before I put my protein mug cake in, it was like lower. So what I did was, if I'm hungry later, I'm gonna make a protein mug cake so I can higher my protein. And I don't have a lot of fats left, so I use PB2. If I'm not hungry, I'm not gonna worry about it because today is rest day. But, so here's my wheel. So basically I only ate when we went out for breakfast and then at my parents', and I really just wasn't hungry around the other time, so I'm not going to stress about it. And my goal for carbs on rest day are like close to 100, so I'm under that. Oh, I didn't log my glass of wine. I had a glass of wine. So that will bring my carbs up, I don't know, not too many. A couple carbs and calories up a little bit. And then fats are pretty on point, 58. I think my goal is like, they're higher right now than my goal, because my goal on rest days is to increase my fats, because you need to get your fuel from somewhere, and I don't need the carbs. I'm not working out. So the fats are good. And then protein, my goal is usually around 120, so it's kind of low for protein, but 90 grams of protein isn't bad, especially for where I ate today. So I'm going to go ahead and show you just, I'm going to log my wine right now. So I had, what did I have for wine? Sweet Moscato, I think. Sweet, you see that? Probably not. Sweet Moscato. Oh, it was pink. Search. So it's gonna come with all those, and I believe it was Sutter Home, and I had 4 ounces. I don't know, I'm gonna estimate 4 ounces. I didn't have a lot. So that is the wine. So we're looking pretty good with the mug cake. You don't need to stress out if you are going places, or you have family events. I am not worried that I didn't get my protein as high as I wanted it to. I am content. I don't feel over full. And I got the chocolate cake and a cheeseburger. And I'm still on track to meeting my goals right now. So I do plan on doing like a whole day of eating, and using MyFitnessPal and showing you guys some more of those things. But that's going to be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Like I said, I will be doing more clips on MyFitnessPal and flexible dieting. If it fits your macros, let me know if you have any questions or you want to see anything specific. Hope you guys have a good night and a good week.